Hello and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I will be breaking down all 4 of the Avengers Doomsday trailers, and to be honest, there aren't that many hidden clues because this is just a teaser, but I will be breaking it down and giving some plot theories. So, the Steve Rogers trailer opens with some Avengers music composed by Alan Silvestri. Alan Silvestri will serve as the composer for Avengers Doomsday, and he has composed Captain America the First Avenger, Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. And we see Steve Rogers, presumably the past one, who went back in time at the end of Endgame, riding on a bike. And logically, he should remember that Peter Parker is Spider-Man because, the spell hasn't happened yet. He should know who Peter Parker is. And we see the Carter residence, the same one from Avengers Endgame, but it looks a bit different, and it's not because of the set. The set is almost the same, but it's due to the color grading. The Russos are color grading this movie amazing. Their color grading looks awesome, and you can already see the improvement from the way the house looked at the end of Avengers Endgame in this trailer alone. We see him putting his Avengers Endgame suit inside a chest, and then we see him holding a child, which is probably James Rogers. If you don't know, James Rogers is the son of Steve Rogers in the comics, named after Bucky, and I think this makes most sense that this is who his child is. This also does confirm a time jump from the 1959 timeline. At the end of Endgame, Steve went back to 1959, so this confirms at least a 9-month time jump. And this baby doesn't look newborn, so we can assume that this shot takes place in the early 50s. We then see a title card that says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. And we have to see it does not say Captain America, which means that he will probably not be Captain America for this movie. Like, a lot of people are saying that them bringing back Steve is doing a disservice to Sam, but in Brave New World they say Captain America will return. But in this they say Steve Rogers, so Sam Wilson is still Captain America. We then see a clock which flashes a secret code, which I genuinely have no idea what this could mean. Let me know what you think it is down in the comments, because I've spent hours trying to figure out what this is, and I still have no idea. This trailer is probably my least favorite out of all of them, because we already knew Chris Evans was returning per Variety about 2 years ago, and they didn't really show us anything else besides him having a baby, which I guess is interesting, but this is probably 4th place in my ranking of the 4 trailers. Now, next up we have the Thor Avengers Doomsday teaser. This also opens with Avengers music, also composed by Alan Silvestri, and we see Thor in the forest praying to Odin, saying, "Father, all my life I have answered every call, to honor, to duty, to war. But now fate has given me something I never sought, a child, a life untouched by the storm. Lend me the strength of the All-Father so that I may fight once more, defeat one more enemy, and return to her, not as a warrior, but as warm, to teach her not battle but stillness, the kind I never knew. Please, Father, heed my words." For this trailer, we see him with Stormbreaker, with a new outfit, and with his Infinity War haircut, and it's interesting that he has Stormbreaker, considering that he had Mjolnir at the end of Love and Thunder, but we'll probably not get an explanation for that in the movie. We also get the confirmation that Love will return in this movie, who is played by Chris Hemsworth's real-life daughter, India Hemsworth, who has cosmic abilities, and she appears to be sick in this. It could just be me reading too much into this, but she looks a bit sick. And then we cut to text that says Thor will return in Avengers Doomsday. And then we are hit with another mysterious code that's flashed on the screen, which I don't know what this means. Again, please, someone smarter than me figure this out. Now, this trailer is probably number 2nd for me on how good they were, or I'd say number 3rd, because we knew Thor was coming back, and it's nice to see that we get serious Thor back and the short hair, but this trailer didn't really surprise me as much as the other 2. Now, next up we have the X-Men trailer. So we open with what sounds like Avengers music. I'm not too sure about that. And we see shots of what I'd assume is the X-Mansion, but it looks like no one has lived in here for years. Kind of reminds me of the Batcave from The Flash. We also see a sign that says Xavier School for the Gifted, which probably confirms that this is a part of the X-Mansion. And then we see Charles looking out a window. We also get this amazing monologue from Magneto saying, "Death comes for us all. That's all I know for sure. The question isn't, are you prepared to die? The question is, who will you be when you close your eyes?" Then we see Charles in his blue jacket with the red X-Men symbol, the same one we see in the Avengers Doomsday crew bag leak. And we see him and Magneto playing chess. And it seems like they're finally friends again. Magneto won't be an enemy in this movie. We also see Magneto with the long hair, similar to his X-Men 97 look. Charles looks like he's been, like leading the X-Men and stuff, but Magneto kind of looks like he's retired. And then we see a quick shot of James Marsden's Cyclops removing his visor and letting out a full power optic beam. He is wearing the comic accurate suit without the trunks, and we can see Sentinels in the background. This is most likely the X-Mansion getting destroyed. You can see a Sentinel head also in the background. And then it ends with something saying the X-Men will return in Avengers Doomsday. And it also, flashes another secret code. This is probably my favorite of the 4 Avengers Doomsday trailers. Finally seeing the X-Men get done justice in live action. Looks awesome. And then the final trailer opens with amazing cinematography by the Russos, which shows Shuri walking down this desert. And we hear her say, "I've lost everyone that matters to me." Speaking of, T'Challa, her mom, her dad, and who knows, her nephew might have been taken by Doom. Because if we look at the themes of all these trailers, Captain America has a son. Doom might take that son from him. Thor has a daughter. Doom might take that daughter. Cyclops also has a son, but we don't see him in this trailer. But imagine Doom took him, and the reason why he's going full power is because he's angry. And then she says, "The king has his duties, to prepare our people for the afterlife. I have mine." And then we also hear some Wakandan music, and then we get glimpses at Namora, who has now been confirmed for this movie via this trailer. We see Namor in his new outfit. We see Shuri. We see M'Baku. And if you look, Shuri and M'Baku have teal vibranium, which is the color of Talokan vibranium, on their armor. And Namor now has standard vibranium, which probably means that Talokan and Wakanda have shared their resources. Then we see M'Baku going to greet someone. He says, "King M'Baku of Wakanda." And we see that the person he's greeting is the Thing, played by Ebon Moss-Backrack. And he says, "Ben, Yancey Street, between Broome and Grand." This probably confirms that the Fantastic Four land in Wakanda. And this is just a theory, but imagine they land in Wakanda because they have a Wakanda on their Earth. And Damson Idris, who has been heavily rumored to be the next Black Panther, is the T'Challa of their universe. We then end the trailer with Shuri and M'Baku getting into a ship, and Shuri does the iconic Wakanda Forever salute. And it ends with saying the Wakandans and the Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. And then it, of course, ends with another secret flashy code. Now confirmed cast members for this movie include Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, Letitia Wright as Shuri, Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent, Namor, Ebon Moss-Backrack as The Thing, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, Kelsey Grammer as Hank McCoy, Louis Pullman as Bob, Danny Ramirez as the Falcon, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, David Harbour as Red Guardian, Winston Duke as M'Baku, Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler, Rebecca Romijn as Mystique, James Marsden as Cyclops, Channing Tatum as Gambit, Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Chris Evans as Captain America, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, India Rose Hemsworth as Love, and Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. The Russos has also said, what you've been watching for the last 4 weeks are not teasers or trailers. They are stories, they are clues. Pay attention. And after the launch of this final trailer, Marvel started a long live stream to the release of Avengers Doomsday. So I'm really wondering what this all could mean. I have a theory that Doom could have lost a child of his own, and that's why he's going after the heroes' children to get back at them. So let me know which Avengers Doomsday trailer is your favorite down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks so much for watching.